The new Pac-12 will be here in full force for 2026, so I'll ask the question that a lot of people will probably be asking this offseason: where does this conference fit in football? We can start to answer that question by looking at this graph that shows the conference strength for each of these leagues based on their final 2025 S&P Plus rank. Now, the S&P Plus doesn't just take into account how good they were last season, but it also takes a snapshot of the program and how good they've been recently. So it's a really good look at where these leagues kind of line up over the last couple of seasons. You can see the Pac-12 just above the American because it has less teams weighing them down, but the American having a slightly higher peak this last year with teams like Tulane and South Florida. But the Pac-12 and American kind of in a league of their own, in between the Big 12 and the ACC and just above the Sun Belt and the Mountain West and the MAC. I would argue that the Pac-12 is actually going to widen that gap this season. You look at some of the top programs and top teams from the American, they all had their head coaches poached away. Silverfield to Arkansas, you had Sumrall to Florida, Golish to Auburn, and Morris to Oklahoma State. But to be completely fair to the American, there are still plenty of great head coaches hanging around. You've got Newberry at Navy and Monken at Army. You've got Blake Harrell and Jeff Traylor that I don't think are going anywhere at East Carolina and UTSA, and several rising coaches for the Owl schools. But the reality is the Pac-12 made some phenomenal moves this offseason that I think are going to put their conference on a pretty fantastic trajectory. You've got Colorado State hiring Jim Mora, which I think was the hire of the offseason. Kirby Moore to Washington State really moves the needle for me. Oregon State with Jamarcus Shepard, probably the least sure of a thing, but I like the type of move they're making. And then outside of that, you just talk about the proven commodities you have. Bronco Mendenhall has done wonders at Utah State. Sean Lewis flexed his coaching prowess at San Diego State last year. Spencer Danielson's been doing great stuff at Boise State. G.J. Kinney has been elevating Texas State as a program. And Matt Entz has championship pedigree from his time at the FCS. So I think if you look on paper, which football conference will be in a position to succeed more this next season and in the coming years, it really looks like the Pac-12 has the leg up right now.